How's it going, folks? So the band MagmaTaurus recently dropped a new single here called Glow of the Moon. Looking forward to listening to this. I've enjoyed the stuff they've dropped before. So, yeah, let's just get on with it, shall we? Rangers, go. Nice. This might be the best song that they've released so far. I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. It's got such a nice vibe. It's just like a lovely tune, you know. I loved the music. I loved the music in this song. And, you know, the song itself reminds me a little bit of like Timeless Miracle, you know. And I think part of that, too, is occasionally like the vocalist, there's like shades of like, it reminded me of the vocalist from Timeless Miracle a little bit at times, especially, you know, certain lines or a way that he sang certain things reminded me of that. And the music, you know, with like a lot of nice keyboard and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it just had a just lovely sound. And yeah, I mean, I really like the music. Right off the rip, I mean, that the drums for like the whole intro were just tight, just sick. I love the drum work there. So yeah, I mean, the drum work was really great. I mean, especially there in that like intro, I really enjoyed that a lot. I love the keyboard. There's some really nice tones. Really adds a nice kind of backing layer to the song. It never really takes the spotlight. You know, there's times where it's a bit more prominent, but mainly I think it serves as like a nice curtain, you know, behind the song. Just a nice sound back there, and that's why I said I really like the tone of the keyboard and just the approach and all of that. So the keyboard was great. Really like the guitar work, you know, some nice speedy riffs and stuff in there. The solo was awesome. You know, that's when the guitar really shined in particular. Yeah, killer solo there. It kept going. I mean, it was just really tight. Oh yeah, and like early on in the song too, the bass is really prevalent. You know, I love that sort of thing. You know, the bass is really thumping along. And there were some nice like symphonic kind of things going on too. I think a lot of it was like the keyboard pushing it, but it sounded like there was some symphonic stuff in there. And, you know, some nice like choir sort of backing vocal stuff there that kind of boosted the scale of the song or the scope of the song. So, yeah, I mean, musically, I just really enjoyed it. It was really nice. And the vocals did a solid job as well. In particular, I really... Well, I liked all the melodies too. There was a nice kind of rhythmic approach to the melodies and things like that, and the way it all kind of built up and you know, it's like I will say the melodies between like the verses and the pre-chorus and the chorus were all kind of similar, just kind of like in style, but it's like the more I heard it, the more I could hear some distinctions there, and you know they were a little bit different. So it's like it changed enough to where I think it worked pretty well. The first time I heard all of them together, it kind of just sounded like they all just kind of bled into each other a bit. But after that, like I said, I could kind of, you know, the distinction was a little bit more apparent there, some of the different changes that were done. But it's like a lot of just kind of like the nature of how it was that was a bit similar. But, you know, it still worked, I think, for the most part. And I really like that chorus. You know, it has moments where it feels like it... and this is where I think that the chorus... differentiates itself a bit, is while it follows a relatively similar kind of rhythmic pattern or shades of like the rest, it does add in a bit of that kind of like soaring quality to it to where it kind of rises up a bit more, like it feels like it takes off a bit. So yeah, I enjoyed that, and everything that they put into the chorus too kind of helps separate it from the rest. Like like I wouldn't say this song is like bombastic, but there is like an added element to the chorus that is a little bit more like bombastic, like with like kind of like the choirs and again that soaring element. So yeah, I mean it just has a really nice quality about it. This whole song, I love the music, and you know I thought the vocals did a solid job as well. And yeah, I mean, just nice, lovely kind of melodies, and I just like the overall feel of the song. It just has a nice feeling about it. And yeah, I just thought it was done really, really well. So yeah, I think it's been a little while since I've listened to the previous songs from these folks here, but I think this one might be their strongest one yet. It's well put together, it's well executed, it just has a really nice sound and just a lovely vibe. So that's my thoughts on this one here. I'm gonna continue looking forward to what else this band releases. Hopefully we get like a full-length album at some point. That would be tight. So yeah, anywho, let me know, folks, in the comments below what you think of this one here. Let's talk about it, and I'll catch you next time. Ranger out.